I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, for making us to be here. Because I know we may attribute being here to anything else, but I think we are here because of the book. I just want to acknowledge the pastors who are present here, and it's always an honor for someone to have a spiritual father. Actually, my whole life, when I grew up, I knew I had something in my spirit that kept telling me that you will get there. And I'm here because I felt my spirit speaking to me every day. I just want to say congratulations for writing a book. It's not an easy thing. What I'm going to do within the next 9 minutes left, I'm just going to get you into the book because I had the honor to actually write the foreword. You know, if you are a doctor, you speak to another doctor. If you're an author, you speak to another author. There is nothing really wrong about learning from anyone else. So I happen to be an author. I'm also a poet. What I'm also going to do, I'm also going to take you through a passage in my book. It's called Never Again, because I'm speaking to the church. I'm not going to speak as a member of a church. I don't know you. I've never been here. But hopefully what I'm going to say is going to help a few members who are not committed to ending violence against women. So I don't know you when I speak. Don't think I'm pointing to any member of the church. I'm just speaking because God wants me to say something to your church. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly conclude with my poem. My poem is a heartbreaking poem. It's written for women whose hearts have been broken. Again, I'm not pointing to any particular men. I'm just reading my poem, and I'm hoping you will understand how we can appreciate women. What has touched me today as I saw Mr. and Mrs. Jackson coming on stage, my husband made a 27-kilometer march in 7 hours today. And guess what? We got a child about 13 years ago who was dumped in Zimbabwe, and we adopted him to be our son. So he was accompanying that child for a march. And as they took out of the house, I said to myself, 13 years down the line, I would see someone who is not a biological father holding a hand for 5 hours, for 7 hours, 27 kilometers to a child who didn't come from him biologically but spiritually. I just want to emphasize that we don't connect physically, we connect spiritually. And I want to say to my husband, congratulations for completing the march today, and also for going an extra mile to take a child whose parents you will never know. So I've also brought my great man with me. Normally when I speak, people always think I am not married. What I said in my foreword to Mrs. Jackson was that Fikelephi, in her autobiography, which is a simple, easy, and yet intriguing and powerful story, shows she's an ordinary woman who has transformed her life from that of a victim into a victor, and now sets on a journey to tell a story with the belief that it will change lives. She urges the world that it must learn from her life, a story told through her book. The self-made activist in her says she can put something on paper and then get friends to help her so that women everywhere can be helped. I think I wrote about 2 pages trying to tell the world that read the book. And I normally say, when you see a woman anywhere, we normally want to say she is a prostitute. She is a widow. She is a single mother. But a woman's life is not one sentence. A woman's life is a book. That's why I took time to analyze it to say, don't judge anyone even in the church. Everyone has got a story. Sit down with them. Listen to the story. When you understand and appreciate the story, you will understand why you have to genuinely extend your hand. I have heard a lot of people in my life saying, God, God. But God is not about mouth, God is about action. Once you do action in whatever God is sending you to do, you know God. So a lot of people I know all over, if you go on Facebook, my God is like this, my God is like this. Then you go to their family, the wife is crying. You go to the husband is complaining, and you say, is this the godly woman we see writing, we see talking, and everything they swear by God, but they insult God in their actions. So I'm happy when this book was being written, it was not a surface God, it was a God breathing in a woman to say, finally, you say the truth. Because when you say the truth, you are actually cleansing yourself. So a lot of us here may be living lives where we are half-truth, where we are pretending to come to church well-dressed and looking all that glamorous, but inside our hearts we are mourning and crying. So I think the book is by one church member from here. She's simply saying, tell it in order to heal. So women who are amongst us today, who suffered domestic violence, who are suffering domestic violence, here is a call to healing. And to men too who are perpetrators, and that gives me a time to quickly read from my book, The Men I Saw. The men to our left was number 1152, and the man who lived there cycled to work every day of his life. He cycled for 6 hours a day, which proved how fit and energetic he was. But I couldn't admire him, as I heard so many things which took away any respect I might have for her. He kept his wife in the rural areas and only allowed a very infrequent visits home. I despised the way he controlled his wife, keeping her away from town, whilst he enjoyed visits from many strange women who were forever in and out of the place. I despised the short, nasty hypocrite who lived at house number 1153. He was said to be a Christian, and he wore Christian regalia every Sunday. Yet the tall, well-built woman who lived with him was not allowed outside the house. During the 9 years I lived in St. Mary's Marine, I never saw him more than twice outside the gate. When he went to church, I saw his small suit well ironed, his brown shoes shining. No one ever interacted with his children because they were not allowed to talk to children of devils, which is how he referred to my father and Baba Cecilia. He used the same sorry excuse to his wife, so she was forced to keep her distance. If it is true, God struck Saul on his way to Damascus, I'm not so sure why he left this man to be his longest serving hypocrite. The man at number 55 had a tuck shop and called himself Abba Philip. Most of the time he was seen outside the house reading a newspaper, while inside we knew his wife was on her knees scrubbing and cleaning or cooking to ensure he was well fed. He considered himself a king, and his poor wife was nothing more than his slave. Behind our house lived Mr. Makoni. This man never beat his wife, but he exploited her nonetheless. Whenever he called her, his voice was so loud that it could be heard throughout the block. And his wife would come running. Each time Baba Mahuni roared, I came out of the house and frowned at him over the fence. I think some characters we have are quite strange in the homes. Sometimes it might not be beating like this, but sometimes it's psychological torture. Somebody keeps pricking you. Somebody keeps saying words that are negative. Like a lot of women have been called fat. A lot of women have been called ugly. A lot of women have been called certain words that are circulating amongst couples. It might not come to the attention of the pastor, but nevertheless, words can psychologically abuse someone in the home. Someone may not come to church swollen on the face, but words can make her heart be swollen. I also want to say, in Luton, one of the churches, the pastor had a surgery where he raped women there. The church was silent about it. And I'm saying, what happens to you when your pastor comes to you to say, I love you, and he's a man of God? If rape happens in the church, what do? I'm not saying rape happened here. No. I'm saying rape happens everywhere, including the church. When women are being molested, little girls like these ones, I handled 70,000 cases in Zimbabwe, and 10% were by pastors. Reputable pastors. Let's not deny it. It's a fact. Rape can take place anywhere in the world. I also want to say, what is a church? Big secrets. Let's look at them. And I think this book, up until when you come to forgiveness, don't lie about what you are forgiving. Say it clearly. I'm forgiving you, pastor, for raping me. I'm forgiving you for taking my wife. Every day in my inbox here in England, I receive cases of pastors scandalous about marriages. If I were to open my inbox, as Christians, you would run away. A pastor who abandoned a wife, went somewhere, then there was a girlfriend, then Betty, then I don't pray myself. What I simply do, I expose. When I expose, you are cleaned before God and you are cleaned before man. That's as far as my church is defined. Then we also want to see scriptures in the Bible where you are actually disempowering your woman. In my culture, we say mushamkazi. The place where you live is a woman. There is no way you can tell a mother you came from a womb that you are less a human being than me, a man. Every man we have came from a woman. I know there are theories, biblical, proved and what have you, but we were all created by God to love, appreciate, embrace, not to embarrass human beings on earth that you are less than any other human being. So if it is a church, it is going to think very much about its women, how they are respected, how we use certain verses, because some people who come to church abuse them to their own advantage and then exploit women. You are my rib. If I'm your rib, I'm by your side. Everything that you're trying to do, I'm a friend. Women are not coming to fight men. Women are not coming to say rights will destroy churches. Women are coming as good friends, as partners, as people who love and people who care. And I think the whole thing about activism, gender activism, was misinterpreted in a very negative way, so that people fear to talk about the justice women are supposed to have. What if that person who is elder in the church, like the case I received from Luton, rapes a woman in the church? What are you going to say if you are less? It means you are not going to talk about it. Let's also think about the pastor's wife. Every pastor's wife I have heard about in this country and all over, I normally hear our pastor's wife is trying, our pastor's wife is trying, but she's also going through domestic violence. You know, sometimes, empowered as I am, I cannot come out here in public to say he is abusing me, because I know my social status, I know people who laugh, I know it's a shame. Even the pastor's wife stories I've heard all over England, I think they need our support as church members. When they show signs of being abused, don't laugh at them, don't mock at them. Let's all as women support each other, because I know with gossip, with rumor, we can destroy someone who is trying to come out public to say they are being abused. That said, I just want to say, truth will set us free in our homes. Our homes are war zones. We fight through words, through pots, through spoons. The little kids are watching. Vulgar language, girlfriends. You don't even know, the list is long, but today we are saying as a church, let's just be honest and say, today we bury Satan and the devil is a liar. I know a lot of us preach. I can't preach to you because you know what a church is supposed to do. My poem is entitled, Don't Take My Love for Granted. Today my heart pours out. Today my inner pain shouts out. Today my love cries out. My blood boils smoky anger. My head is like whirlwind. My love has been rejected. My overflowing gentle love sees a lonely path. My love returns to me with tears. My love is clapped and strangled. My life is kicked and punched. My love is not loved and not one day. My love is embarrassed and harassed. My love has been taken for granted. Don't take my love for granted. Many times I say I do. Rarely do you say you do. In love, you say and you do. There is a day the love will go out these four walls. There is a day when you ask my hand in love, like you did, I will push it off and give it back. There is a day you will call my name. My love has been taken for granted. Christians, I say, let's pray for love in our homes, and I thank you.